know about that. I know Tony Khan has made an official announcement about that it will be a show to really memorialize his memory. I think it's going to be a really, really special show. So pro wrestling fans as a whole, I hope, that you get a chance to tune into that or DVR it so you can go back and watch it. And once again, just my heart goes out to the family. It's just what a tremendous loss. And one of the other people that we lost this weekend that we didn't get a chance to cover earlier was someone I got to know personally who was just an awesome human being, and Baseball Hall of Famer Phil Niekro. Of course, I grew up in Georgia, Atlanta Braves fan, and when I was coming up as a kid, me and my brother, Phil Niekro was one of the big faces of the Atlanta Braves. Pitched in the major leagues, I think 24 or 25 years, and almost all of those, except for maybe 2 or 3 years, where that was almost his whole career was with the Atlanta Braves. Through my buddy Chip Smith, who is one of my best friends and mentors, and someone who I plan to have as a guest on our show here this next coming year, I got a chance to meet Phil and work specifically with Nuxie. He was the king of the knuckleball, which is an amazingly hard pitch to throw. That's why so few pitchers actually throw it. And through Chip. And Chip was great friends with Phil up until he passed away. I got a chance to meet Phil and also get to know him. Worked with Chip when he was the strength and conditioning coach for the Colorado Silver Bullets, which was for a brief period of time, the women's pro baseball team sponsored by Coors. And just a great time in my life to be able to work with some great legendary baseball coaches that were coaching that team, but mainly Phil Niekro, and just the fact that he was just such a fine human being as a person. He really was, and I just was so honored to know him. And he was, I believe, 81 years old, and he had apparently been battling cancer, but just had a great run in the majors, but also was just a tremendous human being, and the world's gonna miss him, the baseball world, as well as just his family and friends, a circle of friends. And he's a Hall of Famer, but I would say he was a Hall of Fame guy, long before he got that official title. He was just a great ambassador for baseball and for sport. And I think I'm going to a couple things I want to say real quick that we wanted to try to get in earlier. Well, once again, we only have an hour and a half, so I'm going a couple of minutes over. I hope you guys don't mind. My great friend, one of my best friends in and out of the wrestling business, Diamond Dallas Page, Hall of Fame wrestler, has a new, as of yesterday, he sent me the link. So if you're a part of Amazon Prime, please check this out and leave a great review. There's a new documentary that Dallas has out, and I'm going to talk more about it next week in more detail. It's called Relentless. It's it's a Diamond Dallas Page documentary. It's on, just go in and type in Relentless, DDP, whatever, on Amazon Prime. He even sent me a message that said if you don't have Amazon Prime right now, you can get a free 30-day membership. So if you only went on for a time just to watch maybe that video and some other stuff, but it's a documentary. It's a great documentary about how Page. One, a lot of people have heard the story of how he became the biggest long shot in wrestling history by coming in at 35 years old. Basically, he touches a little bit on that story, but what he really gets into is the journey that he went on to create what is now known as DDPY. Some people know it as DDP yoga. It started out as yoga for regular guys. I was fortunate enough to be there during this whole journey of when this first started back around 2006. But this video and this documentary is about him and his business partner, Steve Yu. I actually have a little cameo in there at one part, but it's just that journey, once again, of Dallas rebranding himself after his wrestling career was over and really going all in and really putting all of his financial resources into this, risking everything, risking his retirement and everything else to really make this work. And he did it because he saw how much it was changing people's lives. So it's on Amazon Prime. We'll talk more about it next week. It's called Relentless. It's Diamond Dallas Page. If you just type in Diamond Dallas Page or DDP and this word Relentless, I'm sure it will come up. It's a documentary, about 90 minutes long, but it's really, really well done. Dallas has his own production team now, his own editing team. So this was able to be done exactly the way Dallas wanted it, and his business partner, Steve Yu, they put this together exactly the way they wanted it. It is a very entertaining documentary. I'm almost finished watching it. I'm down to about the last 15 minutes of it. So I'll be able to give more of a full detailed report next week. But check it out on Amazon Prime right now. Relentless. Nicholas DDP story about the creation and how he built this empire of DDPY or DDP yoga, as most people may know it recently. But that being said, I'm going to come back around to the quote that I gave earlier in the show. And it's a quote that I put up pretty regularly on Facebook. It's the people at the top of the mountain didn't just fall there. And it's pretty self-explanatory. We all know success is not accidental. You got to put together a good game plan, and you got to put in the work, and you got to have the right attitude. In my opinion, to really be successful and experience true success, is you got to do it with the right attitude. And so, three things I always say that you have to have if you're going to try to get to the top of whatever mountain it is that you're pursuing. Whatever, doesn't matter what it is. And this applies to everything. Is the fact that you got to have a dream first. All right, and because your dream is your passion, okay? You get whatever you're passionate about, and in this day and age, the great thing about technology, what we have with YouTube and social media, is whatever your passion is. If you get a good enough game plan, a good enough vision, you can actually make a living doing whatever it is that you're passionate about. We know that now. That wasn't the case, say, 20 years ago, but it is now. It really is. And so I always say the three things that you have to get in order. You have to get your dream, that's your passion, and then you have to get a vision. All right, what's your blueprint? What's your game plan now to put this out to the world and maybe share it with the world? And that comes down to two things: your why and your how. Like, why do I want to do this, and how am I going to do it? What's the game plan I'm going to put together? And I'm just touched on this stuff now. I'll get maybe deeper into that some we'll create some lessons on Patreon for some of this, so we can dig deeper into it. It's the teacher in me that kind of puts this out there. And then the third thing is action. You got to get off your butt and go do the work. Simple as that. That's what we say at the our training facility in Atlanta here, which has been recently rebranded with Cody Rhodes coming on board, called the Nightmare Factory. I always say, it's not practice that makes perfect. It's perfect practice that makes perfect. You got to get off your butt. You got to do the work. And you got to do the work a lot of times when you don't feel like doing the work, because everybody can do the work when they're in the mood to do the work. But who does the work when not necessarily they get up on that day and they're not motivated to do it? What drives you to actually continue to go do the work? I'll tell you part of it, which is your why. Why are you doing this? And your blueprint. You have a plan of action, and you got to follow those steps. And when you have that plan of action, it's a lot easier to stay on course. And maybe another way is it's a lot harder to get knocked off course when you actually have a game plan. So anyway, we'll talk more about that in the future. But that's just what I wanted to leave you guys with, is by the quote of the last quote of 2020 is, the people at the top of the mountain didn't just fall there. They didn't get there by accident. And success is never accidental. You have to get a game plan in order to succeed at whatever it is you want to do. It doesn't matter what it is. And we'll be talking a lot about that on the Patreon stuff next year as it gets into place. And we'll be sharing some of the things that Avi will be doing with each one of us on the roster of the WWAB roster. So anyway, guys, take care until next week. Please share the link for everybody. Let them know that they can still comment even though they watch the recording. Remember that all the recordings will be, over 300 of them as of right now, will be on Patreon when we launch that here soon. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're live every Tuesday, noon to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I hope everybody has a great, happy, and safe New Year's Eve. If you go out to celebrate, this year's going to be a little different. We know that. A lot of people will be staying home. But I will be here in Atlanta for the next couple of days. And then I'm heading south on Thursday to go see my love, Veronica, and spend the New Year's Eve with her down in Orlando for a couple of days. And then I'll turn right back around and come right back to Atlanta and dive into a new 12-week camp we have starting with, I believe, 28 new, dreamers with stars in their eyes wanting to chase this dream of being a professional wrestler. So hope you guys have an awesome, awesome week. Happy and safe New Year's Eve. And we'll catch up with you guys next Tuesday, okay? Take care. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.